You've never really met anyone to be able to have a real opinion, is the reality.
This is Jonathan Agger here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Frank Smith. I didn't actually recognise you. New year, new Frank Smith, is it?
Yeah, that was the aim. I thought if I came in like this, no one would speak to me or ask me any questions. I got bored at dinner and I said I was going to shave my head, and I shaved my head.
Fair enough. Frank, let's go straight to it. Joshua Ngannou faced off there. Just tell us why this fight is happening. Why do you think you've gone this route?
Because I think it's the biggest possible fight out there. You know, obviously the focus was very much, there was a lot of discussion, and the Wilder fight was supposed to be the one. I think with that not happening, this was the biggest fight out there. You know, a lot of people are going to compare AJ's performance in this fight to Tyson Fury's when he fought Francis Ngannou, and Francis put himself in the position to be involved in the biggest fights at heavyweight because of that night against Tyson Fury. So I think we're in for a great night on March 8th.
How do you think Joshua's going to approach this? Do you think he'll approach it differently to Fury, or, you know, having seen what Ngannou does, do you think it takes away that element of surprise?
I think he approaches every fight the same way, with, you know, complete, you know, focus. He doesn't treat any opponent any differently. I think the momentum and activity of Anthony Joshua, you know, 4 fights, this will be in 11 months, is going to be key, and that's why we're seeing so many improvements. I think, you know, having Ben Davison and the whole team, Lee, Barry involved, has been great for his career, and you know, I think you're going to see a tremendous performance from him, and like I say, focused as he would with any other fight.
Just going back to the last fight, Joshua Wallin, Eddie's been saying, like, you know, you guys went for, you know, social events with Queensbury and all that things. Do you feel like the relationship has completely changed, or is there still obviously going to be an element of rivalry? But how would you assess where the relationship is with Queensbury right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 times better than it ever has been, obviously. We spent a lot of time together, and, you know, that's only going to be good and beneficial for the sport, for the long term of the sport, and being able to make fights. At the end of the day, we're always going to be competitors, and we'll continue to be competitors, as we are with any other promoter. But the fact that we can spend time together, that we're having conversations, that we're talking about opportunities, is beneficial for the sport. And yeah, it was good.
Was it all a bit of a laugh between you and Frank? I know, you know, YouTube guys like us will sort of ask you questions about Frank and vice versa, but was it just, you know, a bit of a laugh?
Yeah, a lot of it is driven by this kind of stuff. Yeah. Someone saying something, then you say something back, and it probably goes that one step too far, and it's not real. You know, it's not. You've never really met anyone to be able to have a real opinion, is the reality. But like I say, it's all fun and games, and the focus is delivering the best possible opportunities for our fighters on both sides.
And obviously, Turki Al Sheikh said up there that he wants the winner of this fight to fight the winner of Fury Usyk. I know it seems to be that whatever he says goes, but how will this work? Do you think sort of belts will become less important because, you know, you're just going to see the best fight the best, or the fights that the fans want to see?
I think generally belts aren't, and we've seen it last year in our fight that is a great example, was Ryan Garcia against Gervonta Davis. You know, it was a fight without a belt that drew, you know, a huge audience. People want to see the best possible fights, and that's what, you know, people will continue wanting to see. You know, there will always be a dream element of a boxer wanting to become a world champion, wanting to become an undisputed, unified champion. But at the same time, if we can make the biggest possible fights, it's not necessarily about the belts at that point. It's about making fights that people want to watch. And, you know, I think His Excellency has done a tremendous job doing that and delivering those fights. He's delivering fights that fight fans want to see, and that's key to the continued growth of the sport of boxing.
Just quickly, you know, people have said, you know, it's a money fight, Simon Jordan, Carl Froch. What do you say back to them? Obviously, there is a lot of money at stake, prize fighting, but, you know, is there perhaps more jeopardy than you know, people are giving, you know, relevance to this?
I mean, look, he dropped Tyson Fury, and yes, it is the biggest commercial fight right now outside of, you know, the obvious ones, you know, and the winners fighting the winners. The biggest commercial fight out there, possibly, but it's going to be a real fight, you know, and he showed that against Tyson Fury. I think it's changed a lot because, you know, ahead of that fight, you had someone who'd never had a professional boxing fight going in there against who many perceived to be the number one in the heavyweight division in Tyson Fury, and he showed that he's got the skills and the ability to hold himself at that level. So, you know, I do think that changes the mindset a lot.
And then, you know, you said before about working more closely with Queensbury. Is that only limited to Saudi, or, you know, can fights be made here with them? Because obviously, you know, you got your own broadcast partners to work for.
Yeah, no, obviously we've got to work and deliver for our broadcast partners. We've got to deliver for our fighters. We've made fights in the past, you know, in the UK, whether it was John Ryder against Zach Parker. You know, we just worked, and, you know, Hopey Price is going to fight on a Queensbury show, it looks like, as well. So there's going to be other fights that we work together on, and if they make sense for our fighters, and they, you know, obviously, like I say, our focus is obviously our broadcaster. We've got to deliver great fights for our broadcaster, but I think if everyone's happy and we can make sensible business, we'll continue to do so.
Final question, Callum Smith, what do you think is next for him after his defeat on Saturday night?
Look, he's done everything in the sport. You know, he's become a world champion. He's been involved in the biggest fights. He won the World Boxing Super Series. He's made a load of money in the sport, and he's not lucky because he's worked hard for it, but he's fortunate that because of his hard work, he could quit boxing. He could have quit boxing years ago and been in a great position financially. I think, you know, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, he should retire, but he got beat against Artur Beterbiev, who many people, you know, perceive to be in the top 10 current day boxers in the pound for pound list. So, you know, it's a hard one to say he should retire. It may be a case of what is he doing it for now. If he's not doing it, if he doesn't want to win, you know, if he's given up on the belts, or he's given up, he's not bothered about making money, different story. But, you know, he still could offer a lot to the sport. There still could be a lot of big fights to be made. But that will be a decision he makes, and I'm sure it won't be a decision he rushes. You know, the focus on it right now, I'm sure, will be spending time with his family. He's trained all over Christmas. He's had a few cancelled camps and cancelled fights, so, you know, I think he'll be enjoying spending some time just alone with the family, and then we'll make a decision from there. But whatever he chooses to do, had a great career, done some amazing things, and, you know, could still offer so much more. So let's see.
All right, Frank, thanks for your time, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers.